Hello foodies, welcome into another video. I'm Das Food, and today I wanted to take a minute to look at the latest developer update, which I think is a massive W, a massive win for everybody, and specifically it's a massive win for the relationship between this community and the developers. This one is a big one, so I'm not going to take too long here. I'm just going to get into it. We will, by the way, be leaving the link down in the description to this if you want to go through and read it yourself. I did not do that initially for the last one, so we're going to do it this time. So again, if you want to go see it yourself, please do take that time. So what I'm not going to do here is I'm not going to read every single word. I'm not just going to sit here and possibly the hottest topic since it was announced, the PTB raised the base. I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit the important points. I'm going to try to give you the ability to pause and read what you might want to read, and we'll go from there. So big thing here, big thing, if you take nothing else out of this, nothing else. If you take one single piece of news out of this, it's that the healing has been reverted back to where it was before they changed it for the PTB. So, for the mid-chapter PTB, that is. So, it had been taken from 16 to 24. Everybody said that is ridiculous. That is just an insane amount of time. Behavior agreed. They said, all right, you don't want to do that? Fine, we'll take it back down to 16 seconds. And that's what they did. So, really good change there. This one's kind of unique because nobody really liked this change. Killers didn't like it because the killer queue time, my goodness, it was getting bad. And then survivors hated it for fairly obvious reasons. I don't think I have to explain why, especially against, a Wesker with his massive tear radius, running Culverphobia and Sloppy Butcher. Oh, just awful. Talk about Dark Ages, though admittedly fairly short-lived Dark Ages. Another thing would be the change to medkits, which I think is kind of big. I'm going to highlight that for you and try to center that a little bit. So one thing with the medkits is they really want to commit to making it to where you heal other people. So you can see right here, they talk about 35%, 40%, 45%, 50%. These are the buffs to the speed in which you will heal other people while using a medkit. So not bad. They know that most people are using their medkits for themselves. Right? They know that. So what they're doing is they're making it where you get a 33% speed and efficiency debuff. This nerf, right? I guess we could also say a penalty is the word they use. That's more official. So you get this 33% penalty so that if you choose to heal yourself, you will do it slowly. You will, or slower, and you will burn through your medkit more quickly because they have set every medkit in the game to 24 charges. In case you don't know, before the PTB, the way it worked is the brown medkits have 16 charges, and the purple ones, I think they get up to like 32 charges or something like that. So everything is brought down to 24 charges, which, how things currently are, it would be more than enough to heal yourself and have some left over. However, it is going to cost 24 charges just to heal yourself because of that 33% decrease to the efficiency. So, good change. Is it going to change how people actually use their medkits? No, I don't think so. I think people are still mostly going to be using their medkits for themselves because that's just kind of how they're most convenient more often than not. And you do have options like Will Make It, like the based Giga Chat Autodidact to heal each other. They're probably still going to use medkits for themselves, but this is a good way to incentivize altruism. Now, as far as the add-ons, nothing too crazy here. Nothing too crazy. You can pause it. You can read through these yourselves. This is not, I don't think it's really worth talking about. Just some number changes. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Maybe I missed something. Maybe there's an add-on that's like, Food, how are you not catching this? And if that's the case, I apologize. But nothing jumped out to me. Hillbilly got some changes. So, in the most recent one, he got a nerf and he got a buff. The nerf was that his engravings add-ons were messed up. The buff was that his cooling mechanic was more forgiving on his chainsaw, which was good. This one, they've gone back on the nerf and just kept the buff, which is awesome because Hillbilly can be very frustrating to play. So I really like the thought. So in case you don't play Hillbilly, which the numbers would suggest you don't, the main thing with Hillbilly is he wants to be able to feather, right? He wants to get that chainsaw just close to where he's about to take off, and then he wants to come around the corner. He wants to hit somebody. He's all about keeping that chainsaw around that 90 to 99% before popping off and hopefully getting an insta down. And when he overheats too quickly, that makes that kind of impossible. So this is a good change. Outside of just kind of giving me what I want, you know, Batista style, give me what I want, give me what I want, Hunter.
You know what I want. I've been asking for it for years. You're gonna give me what I want, but you won't give it to me. Give me what I want. Give me what I want. Give me what I want. You know what I want. You just don't want to give it to me. Give me what I want.
Yeah, outside of just giving me what I want, which would be getting rid of the overheat mechanic entirely, good change. Good change. There was no need to nerf them. They realized that. They heard what everybody said. Good change. Some perks got changed. Only 3 of them, but they're kind of important. They're kind of important perks. So, Dead Hard got a change. Dead Hard had been changed to where if you got a safe unhook, you now had Dead Hard. You could use it whenever. You just needed a safe unhook. But this had some consequences because let's say you're the killer. Let's play this logically. You're the killer, you want to win. Okay, that's an understandable situation to be in. Let's say you're watching and look, Dead Hard's a David perk. So David goes and gets Dwight off the hook, right? Who are you going to chase? Well, Dwight is already injured, so that's kind of a point in his favor. But even let's say they're both injured. Well, now you know David has Dead Hard. Dwight doesn't have Dead Hard. Dwight was just on the hook. Dwight doesn't have Dead Hard. The devs realized, so what this was leading to was a lot of tunneling the person off the hook. Kind of like when Hinatu came out, and he had the one perk where he could unhook you and then basically Sonic sprint his way to a different realm. So they had to change that too, because the last thing you want is to make it where tunneling is not only easier, but like anybody with a brain would do it. So what they changed it to is when you are unhooked, not the unhooker, when you are unhooked, you get Dead Hard. That's great. That means as a killer, at most you're going to face it 8 times a game. Instead of those games where, you know, you go up against the bully squads and they're running Vigil and Dead Hard and they just basically have unlimited Dead Hards. You're not going to have to face that anymore. 8 maximum. Is it still strong? Yeah. And look, I would love it if this perk would just die already. It's the Monty Python bit where they're, you know, bring out your dead, and the one guy's like, I'm not dead, and his friend's like, oh, yes you are, you're on your way out. That's me with Dead Hard. It's like, please just die already, just get out of here, but it's not gonna happen. I get that. It just means too much to the Survivor community. It's not going anywhere, whatever. I can sit here and I can complain about it, or I can say, hey, you know what? If it's gonna stay, and it's gonna be powerful, this was a good change. This was a good change. Pain Res also got a change. This one makes me a little nervous. So I was just going on my anti-Dead Hard rant. You may be, oh, food. You killer main. You biased killer main. But this one might be a little too much. Scourge Hook Pain Resonance will now give you a 25% regression to a generator once you use it. Now again, it's still keeping the token system. You can only use it 4 times. That's a full gen you get to regress though. And I know some people are going to make the case, okay, this change is going to make it to where tunneling is not as common. I disagree. I think that in theory, it makes it where it's not as common. In practice, you're going to get the same value for the most part out of, you know, tunneling somebody out and then tunneling their friend out. And all of a sudden, you've regressed 50% worth of progress just by tunneling those two. And all of a sudden, it becomes less relevant about the Pain Res perk and more that it's just a 2-on-2, and whenever you down one of them, you're going to be able to get another 25% off. Tunneling's not going anywhere. That's not going to change with this. In fact, I don't think this really swings the pendulum in any major way. Nice in theory, but I don't know. I get it. You're only going to use it 4 times per game. That's a little powerful. That's a little powerful. We'll see how it is. I just know that right now, when I play, I always find Pain Res. As a killer, I find it super useful, and as a survivor, I find it super frustrating to deal with. So I don't know that buffing the numbers is great, but again, we'll have to see. With the token system, it might be all right. We'll see. Circle of Healing. Circle of Healing got a change. You still can't heal yourself in Circle of Healing, which is great. That was my biggest issue with it. Now it's like a portable will make it. So it gives you a plus 100% healing speed, as long as you're in the radius of Circle of Healing. So that's pretty nutty. That's pretty strong. We will see how that plays out, because When I think about, 2 survivors healing 1 survivor in the new, I mean, granted, you have 3 of them there. Nobody's on, like 1 at most is on a gen, yada yada, probably being chased. Okay, sure, but man, that's a speedy heal. So I think for Dead Hard, I really like this change. Pain Res and Circle of Healing, I loved the initial nerf, and I worry that they may have swung too hard to try to correct back to make the people who use the perks happy. But both of them, I am more than willing to wait it out and see what they do. I am willing to wait and see how they feel before giving any kind of any kind of really harsh judgment. So let's go to this last little bit, Autohaven Wreckers. So they offer us a little graph here, and oh no. Okay, well, it's probably safe. I mean, behavior linked it, but anyway, not gonna risk it. The real killer was the website the whole time. So last but not least, they added a new tile. That's it. It's kind of an anticlimactic way to end this, but there is something to it that I think is kind of notable. So one of these new tiles, which featured a window and a pallet, ended up being fairly unsafe. I don't like that. I don't like that they said, well, it ended up being unsafe, so we rebalanced it. My issue with that is I like unsafe pallets. I like the unsafe tiles. I like the tiles where good killers and good survivors get to kind of fight it out and see who's actually better, because you can be pretty bad at the game and use most of the pallets on, say, the Gideon meat plant fairly safely. That doesn't take just a crazy tremendous amount of skill. I like unsafe pallets. I think they're good for the game. Kind of more of the 50-50 pallets. I think they're very healthy. So I don't like that they seem to actively be removing unsafe pallets, but like everything in this update, I'm going to give it a try before I condemn it, right? I want to be fair with it. So that's about it. That's the change. I think this is a huge win for the community. As I mentioned, there has been this adversarial relationship in the past. I think of the one dev who was talking about accessibility features, and he said, something to the extent of like, oh, we're not adding them, and you yapping about it, or you yapping about it's not going to change that. We've come a long way. We've come a really long way in getting the community and the devs kind of on the same page, kind of in this just big love fest where we're all pals. It's great. I think it's a good place to be, and this is a really good update. This is what you want to see more of in the future. But that's going to do it for me. Let me know down below how you feel about these changes, especially the ones that I'm kind of on the fence about. I'd love to see what the community's feeling. But until then, I've been DasFood, and I hope you are having a lovely day wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Until next time, bye friends.
I've been dreaming on in my head like I've seen it. A life worth living is a life with meaning. I'll do what I love till my heart stops beating. I'm feeding this demon. Got a taste, can't erase bitterness in my